Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, how are you today?
I'm good, sir. Thank you, sir.
So yeah, in the last class, we started with variables, and I said variable is a form of data structure that um, we have different types of data structure, and you declare them with either the var keyword or the let keyword or the const keyword. I will still talk more on this too later. But the point I'm trying to make here is that if I can declare a variable x to hold 20 using this var keyword, at the same time, I can use the let keyword also to declare another variable to hold this data. And I can also use const to declare this data. And if you can recollect the last class, I told you that this type of data structure can only hold a single data, single. If you want the variable that will hold multiple data, then you are thinking of an array, which I can also use the var keyword to declare X array, and I can now assign multiple numbers to it. Like I can say set of even numbers. Similarly, I can use let to hold many data. And so on and so forth. I can even use const also. But there are rules guiding all these keywords that I'm talking about, which later we are going to talk about. So I can use I can store different models of car here. And so on. And for me to call this value, all I need is just to call the variable, call the variable, and call this variable. And for me to call any data here, I will need to call this variable with the index. And the index of each of these items starts at 0. So the index of the first one is always 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1. So if I want to call the value of 8 here, I will say X array square bracket 3. And this will give me the value of 8. This one will give me the value of 20, value of dollar, and value of true. Is there any question?
No, sir.
All right. So I will continue.
So I have a question.
Okay, what's the question?
What if you want to target two of them at the same time?
What do you mean? calling
Like
them at
in
the
the
same
X,
time.
like in the X array, what if you want to target 2 and 10?
At the same time, I'm
Yeah.
trying to understand what what you mean by at the same time.
Because of like you did 8. I'm just thinking like if you can do the two of them at the same time.
There's nothing simultaneous. You have to call them at different times. Let's say I have bar X array, and I said 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I can only call them one after the other. If I want to target this one, and this is 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, then I will go to again, X array, 10, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, oh, I need to print it out, because if I do not do that, the last one will override that other one. Console.log and console.log. So I have my 8 and 10. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any other question? We are still going to
No,
talk
sir.
more about this array later, but you should, the reason why I'm saying this now is that you should know that there is a way that you can store many items into a single variable.
So,
There is another called the object. The object. If I go back to the board, we are still going to talk more about this data structure in depth. There's another called the object. This one can hold anything. If I say var x, to declare this one, I use a curly brace, the curly brace. The normal variable having just one item, there's nothing, just declare. Just declare. Array, to hold many items, you use a square bracket and post the items there, comma, comma, and so on. For this object, you use the curly brace. And if I want to put the data into this one, I can say first name. You can see semicolon, because that is the syntax. Comma, last name. And I can say age, for example. So for me to now call any of this data out, I will use the name of the variable dot the property. We call this properties first name. So once I do x dot first name, then this will return me Sean. Same thing if I do x dot last name, this will return me John. In the last class, I mentioned it's very important for you to know how to get your input, process this input, store, display. This is all what computer is doing. And during this process, a lot is going on. You are creating many variables of different data structures to process the input. Then after that, you display the output. The one that you need to store, you will store it for later use. That is the summary of what computer is doing and hence what programmers are doing. So today, I want to go into operators. I think I gave an assignment last week. I gave an assignment, right? The week before, and so I saw the class before that I gave an assignment. Anyone that has done it, I know Mary did as the color palette. She has done that, but she's yet to do the GT Bank. Then I gave programming assignment to add numbers. Anyone?
So I was in the lesson last week.
It doesn't matter. You have the recording. The recording is there. This last week in the last class, like as I said, I did not give any assignment because you can see this was Saturday. If I'm not 8, yeah, this was Saturday. The last class was on Tuesday. This one was on last week Saturday. In the last class Tuesday, I did not give any assignment because people did not do this, and only one person did this. So one assignment followed by this one that is still pending, and now this one. Operators. Operators are very important in processing of data. Plus is an operator. And this plus has two functions. The first function is concatenation. Concatenation. E-N-A-T-I-O-N, which simply means joining of strings. Joining strings. And the second one is addition. I demonstrated this last week, sorry, in the last class, where I added two numbers. But if one of it is a string like 4 plus Sean, it will join the two together. This one will result to 7, the addition. So the next one I'm going to discuss is subtraction. This one is just 1 to subtract. So 4. Okay, Favor did all the assignments. Okay. All right. I will request for it later. Thank you. 4 minus 2, we always give you 2. And 2 minus 4, we give you minus 2. The other operator is the asterisk, which is used as multiplication. Multiplication. So which means 4 times 3, or asterisk 3, will give you 12. So that simply means that if I declare a variable containing 10, and I declare another variable containing 2, and I do x plus y, my typing x here, I'm calling the value inside. So 10 will be here, plus 2 will be here. So I have 12. If I do x asterisk or multiply by y, I'm doing the same thing, which is 20. Is there any question?
So,
Okay. I'll go to the next one. /, which is division. So if I do variable x equal 10, variable z equal 5, and I do variable results equal x slash 5. So 2, because when this is, sorry, z. So this is 10 and this is 5. So this expression will be evaluated into 2, and the 2 will now be assigned into this result. So if I now do console.log results, I will have 2 printed out to the screen. Similarly, if the values are 10 and 3, what I have is 3.3333 and so on. Is there any question? Is there any question? No question. Let's just quickly demonstrate this one. I want to print out the addition of those two variables. Console.log. The multiplication of those two variables. Console.log. num1 slash num2. Okay, I left one out here. Console.log. num1 minus num2. If I run this, 10 plus 4 is 14. 10 times 4 is 40. 10 divided by 4 is 2.5. And 10 minus 4 is 6. Is there any question?
No, sir.
No, sir.
All right.
So,
Okay.
I wasn't here at the beginning of the class. So I came here a bit late. So I do have a question.
Okay.
All this we're doing, is this for like a website or is this like JavaScript?
It's JavaScript.
Oh, okay.
This is JavaScript. I'm only using the browser to run it.
Oh, okay.
I could have done the same here. I could have done the same here. So if I copy everything here, when I paste here, you comment this one out. What I'm about to do, you may not understand what I'm about to do here. So don't worry about that. See the JavaScript node. What is it again? Factorial recursion. Factorial recursion. You can see 10 plus 4, 14. 10 times 4, 40. 10 divided by 4, 2.5. 10 minus 4, 6. It's the same thing. I'm only trying to use environment that is familiar to you, the browser, because I don't want to go into this one yet, into all this nitty-gritty. No, I don't want to go into it yet. Is there any other question? And if you are wondering, because I know some people will not know how I got here, and they will not ask question. And that is my concern. I know I explained this in the very first class, but I know that there will be some people in this class now. They don't understand how I got to this platform, and they will not ask question. The next operator I want to talk about is this modulo, represented by percentage. Modulo. What is this one doing? This returns the remainder of a division expression. If you do not know the difference between expression and statement, please go back to the previous videos. So what am I saying here? If I say 4/2, I will have 2. And the remainder is 0. But this 4/ returns us this value here. But in JavaScript, because JavaScript is a dynamically type of language, it's not a strongly typed language. I explained this in the last class. If you do, for example, 5 divided by 2, in JavaScript, you will have 2.5. But in other strongly typed language, where you will declare a variable integer, let's say result, and I do 5/2. Because this variable can only store an integer. An integer are natural numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. Integers do not have decimal number. This is not an integer. So because they declare this variable as an integer, this is a typed variable now, unlike JavaScript. So in such language, this will return you 2. 2 will now be stored here. 2 will be returned. The remainder of 1 will be discarded. So they now came up with this operator that if you need the remainder, use this operator. So this operator will return you this number. So if I do int, for example, results, or let me say remain, and I do 5 modulo 2, what will be returned here assigned to this variable is 1, because the result of this expression is 2 remainder 1. So this one will return you this value, not this value. But / will return you this value and not this value. / will return you this value and not this value. Is there any question on this?
No.
It's understood. Is it understood, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me quickly demonstrate this to you. Okay, let me even use what I have here already. Hold on. So let's see. I want to do number/2. But because in JavaScript, they return the float number. So hence 2.5 will be returned. 2.5 will be returned, as you can see here. But if I use the modulo and I run the code, you will see the value of 2 being returned. 4 divided by 2, I will have 2 remainder 2. So it is that value that is being returned. To make it obvious, if I do 11 divided by 4, I will have 2 remainder 3. Yes. So if I change it to 11, let me even print out the 2. Okay. So if I run this one now, instead of 2 point something being returned. Okay, let me do the division so that you see what I'm talking about. Now, if you divide 11 by 4, you have 2.75. However, the remainder is what? 3. And that is what this is returning. Is there any question? Is there any question? No question.
No,
Oh.
no, sir.
Okay. Please. But if you have question, don't be shy. Ask question. Because by the time we go in deeper into this, these building blocks, they are very, very important. I want to repeat myself. This is like you trying to build an house. You start from the foundation. You do it well. If you do not do your foundation well, whatever you put on top of it is going to collapse. It will not stand. By the time we start going, for example, look at this now. This one is still very simple anyway. It will become messier. So you need to understand these simple things now. If you don't, ask a question, please. I cannot be in your mind. I'm not an oracle. I don't have that power, that spiritual power to know what is going on in your mind. If you do not speak, there's no way I will know. So I'm going to the next operator. And that's to you now. Yes, it's Holy Spirit. Yes, I know. So the next operator that I want to talk about is plus, plus, minus, minus. And there is plus equal, minus equal, divide equal, and so on and so forth. But let me tackle this first. Now, if I declare a variable called x and I assign maybe 2 to it, if I want to increase this value by 1, I will say x plus 1. This is a statement. This is expression. So this expression will be evaluated first. X is 2 plus 1, 3. Then 3 will now be assigned back to the variable x. So if I print x here, if I do console.log here, x, then I will have 3. This will give me 3 to print out 3. Similarly, if I do x plus 2, here at this point in time, x is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 will be assigned to this. If I do console.log x, it will give me 4. In programming, because this x plus 1 is very, 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 very common. Most of the time, when you are doing loop, which we are still going to go through anyway later, when you are doing loop, you have to increment your variable by 1, either by 1 or by any amount you so desire. But because this expression is so common, x plus 1, they now derived a shortcut for it, which is this one. So instead of saying x, assign x plus 1 back to x, they will just say x plus plus. This, after execution of this line, x will now become 3. If it is x minus minus, x will be reduced by 1. Because x minus minus is x minus 1. Is there any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, excuse me. There are times that you come across the prefix plus plus x and the postfix. This is the postfix. Post means after the variable, before the variable. Let me try to explain that very well. Please listen carefully. If I do plus plus x plus 4, and I have a variable called result here, what will happen here is this. during the execution of this expression, this x, value of x, will be incremented to 3 and will be added to 4. So 7 will be stored here. But if it is x plus plus, then plus 4, this x will not be incremented within this expression. So x will still be 2 and 4 will be added. So 6. So 6 will not be assigned to the result. So it is after the execution of this statement that x will now be increased to 3. After. Let us demonstrate this, just for me, even for me to be sure of what I'm talking about. Let's say I have this, and I have results. And I do plus plus num1. Then I'm trying to add 4 to it. And I try to print console.log result. You can see that the output is 15, because this 10 has been increased before this statement is executed. So 10 increased to 11 plus 4. And that is 15. But if I do num1 plus plus, let's see what we have. You can see it's 14. Now let us do something. Okay, let's do something. Let us print the value of x each time for each of those times. X, no, num1 rather. Num1. Let's go back to the very first one. Let me clear the console. Control Enter. You can see 15. Okay, let's even do play around. let me print this number before working on it. Num1. Then I do this. I now print the num1 again here. Console.log num1. Then the results. Let me remove this one. I do not need this one any longer. If I clear, if I run the code, at this point in time, the value of num1 is 10, which is this. When it got to line 21, num1 got increased by 1 to 11 before the value got used in this expression. So 11 plus 4 turns to 15. So 15 is assigned to the result here. And that is why this result is here 15. And when we printed num1 after this execution, this line, you can see it's 11. So let us see the other one. Plus, plus. Let me clear this. Oh, sorry. I went to debug mode. That's what we call debugging mode. So now, you can see from here, the value is 10. And we printed out 10 here. Now, at this point in time, the number 10 was not increased by 1 during the execution of this statement. 10 plus 4 gave us 14. Then after this execution, then this number got incremented. And that is why it is now 11 here. So which simply means that if you want a number to be incremented after an execution, you use the post operator, num1 plus plus. Or if you want it to be increased during the execution, you use the prefix plus plus num1. The same thing is applicable to the minus minus. Minus minus is deduction of 1. If I clear this and I do negative negative here, 10 will be reduced by 1. So 9 plus 4, 13. So this will print out 13 here. This here will be 9. This will be 10. Control Enter. 10, 9, 13. But if I do minus minus after post, this number will not be decreased by 1. And we have 10 plus 4, which is 14. Then after this, the number will now be decremented by 1. So we have 9 here. 10, 9, and then 14. 10, 9, and 14. Is there any question? Is there any question? Okay, no question. That's good. No news is good news. Let me quickly talk about this for today. Plus equal. Now, x plus 1, I can also write it in this manner. X plus equal 1. So what this operator is doing is this. It's saying whatever the previous value here, add it to this value, then we assign it back to the value x. It's exactly the same thing that is being done here. So what this is saying is that do x plus 1, evaluate this, then we assign it back to this. Exactly what this one is doing. And the reason why this operator existed is because they found out that there are times that you will need to increment your value by 2 or by 10 or by any value. And x plus plus can only increment by one, only by one, and so on and so forth. Therefore, how do we create a shortcut to incrementing the same variable by a certain number? Hence, it came out with this. So if I do x plus equal 100, what I'm saying is that whatever the previous value of x was, add 100 to it, then you assign it to x. So what this simply means that there's a variable x with a value maybe 4, and you are now doing x plus equal 100. So what this is doing is you are adding x plus 100 and you are assigning it back to x. So if I print console.log of x here, I'm going to have 104. So the same thing is applicable to the minus, plus, minus equal whatever, or multiplication equal whatever, or division equal whatever. The same thing is applicable. So let me quickly demonstrate this before I close for today. So let's say I want to do num1 plus equals 100. So let me clear this screen. If I run this code, hold on, something is wrong somewhere here. On quotes plus equal. Or am I making a mistake here? Hold on. It's plus equal now. Oh, yes. I went to declare variable again. No. You can see I declare another variable, and this variable is already in existence. So this is wrong. Please note that value of num1 10. When I do carry out this operation, I added this 100 to 10. I have 110. The same thing if I do division, then multiplication rather, I have that. If I do division, undo, I have that. Because 10 divided by 100 is 0.1. And if I do minus, I have minus 90, because 10 minus 100 is minus 90. Is there any question? Is there any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to stop here for today. And I want to favor, let me see, since you are the only person in right now, apart from Mary that has done the color palette, is Mary, let me even see, is Mary in this class? No, Mary is not even here today. Okay. So favor, I will give you control now. I want to see your homework.
Okay, sir.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, it's coming up.
Okay.
Yes, I can see it now.
Okay, so I said the color palette,
Yeah, the color palette
right?
first. Yes. Let me see the color
Okay.
palette. Okay. Thank you. No need to show me the code. Don't show me the code. Means
Okay.
others are yet to do it. If you decide
Okay.
to do it, then that means I'm not going through the correction anyway.
Okay.
So let me see the second assignment.
Okay.
Oh, you haven't done that.
Which one, sir?
The
The GT
GTB.
Banks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have done it.
You have done it. Well, wonderful. Please run it.
Yes.
Let me see. But this one looks expanded somehow.
Oh, I
Okay.
reduced the size of my
Okay.
browser. I've made it 100% now.
Good. Good. Did you
Thank you, sir.
experience any difficulty, especially on that online banking login? That Polygon.
Yes.
Okay, and you
Yes,
you
sir.
you use the internet.
Yes, I did.
That is the spirit. Tell me the
Thank
property
you,
you
sir.
use for that.
Clip path.
Good. That is it.
Yeah.
That is it. I'm impressed,
Sir.
Favor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
At least
Thank you, sir.
I know that it's not that I do not know how to impart knowledge. Thank you so much. I appreciate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Let me
sir.
see the last one.
Okay. So that's the variables, right?
Yeah, the
This is
variable.
the
Yes.
variables.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I did the assignment and then as we were going on the classes, I was doing what you were doing. So,
Okay.
well, I did it.
Okay.
Yeah, I used var X and var Y. And
The assignment
I
is
did.
also add. Yes. That's it. You have done it.
Yes.
That's all
Yes,
I
sir.
need. That's all I need. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Is there any other person? None other person. Okay. All right. I'm going to give an assignment today. And the assignment is based on, let me see. I'm thinking here. I'm thinking whether I should give you this assignment at this point in time. Okay. I will not give you this. I will give you the problem statement, but I don't expect you to do it. However, some people like Favor here, they are going extra mile. So I want to repeat myself. I do not expect you to do it because I want to cover a topic first. First, the topic is called control flow. Control flow. So which most likely we are going to cover start next week in the next class, which is next week anyway. So I want to code, and this is just about the if condition, else if condition. Then you can have many else if, then at the end you have else. This one here is called code block. Call it code block because we are going to write statements here. So anything within this curly brace is called code block. Code block. We go into detail next week. But for those who love challenges, I want you to write a program. To determine if a number is even or odd. So that means that if I have a number, the program should be able to tell me that this number is even. So if I change this to maybe 1375, it should tell me that this number is odd. This is the beginning of the journey into the programming world, algorithm. Is this problem statement clear?
Yes,
Is
sir.
okay, good. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for today. We will meet by God's grace on Tuesday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, David. Joshua, you are too silent today anyway.
Thank you,
Joshua.
sir.
Joshua.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Feromi.
Yes, sir.
Joshua, you are too silent for my liking. I will start calling you out in the next class. It seems that if I don't call you out, you just stay within your comfort zone, within your shell. I'm going to call you out next week. Prepare for it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.